Melty, and I'm back again with another episode of Is She Worth Your Gems or Is She Not? And as you guys know, I haven't been uploading, and it's actually my first time being delayed. I haven't been here in the seat recording for like 2 weeks now. As you guys know, my videos are pre-recorded, so this is late. I just recorded it now, and I'll be posting it now too. So let's get started and discuss the initial Guitar Hikari Kagura. So, as you guys know, this is the most awaited collab, which everyone has been waiting for, the Bang Dream collab, which has been leaked for like months now. So as you can see, her with her cute sneakers is just like living her life. Okay, so I finished all the steps and did not get Akira, but we got her, which is also fine. Let's discuss what she does. So she actually has pretty decent speed. She reaches up to 1,760 something. As far as I know, I am not sure. But let's get into her skills. So she has Strong Slash, which does medium damage to front enemy, which I do think is basic and kinda okay for PvP. I wish it was just 1 AP. 2 AP is actually pretty 1 AP would have been really cooler because it would be able to clutch people with a 1 hit, in my opinion. She has Weakening Attack, which is 3 AP, and Mournful Attack, which is also 3 AP. So take note that she's very costly. Sorry. She's very expensive. So she has Weakening Attack, which is high damage and act power down with to the enemy with the highest act power. So this is very good in my opinion for PvE, for bosses, especially the event boss now, of course, because this is a solo attack, which I'm not really a fan of. But since you guys know that Hikari is known for solo attacks, she actually deals a lot of damage for that solo. I tested her out, it's actually pretty good. So she does high damage and act power down to the enemy with the highest act power, which is good against people who could cleave your team easily, like for say Chiriachio, who could cleave the front, Tsukasa, which is really strong, or Momotaro, stuff like that. It's really actually pretty useful for the act power down, especially for those who could cleave. For Mournful Attack, she does high damage and special defense down to enemy with the highest special defense, which is actually pretty interesting because there are stage girl units who are strong and they have really high special defense, even sometimes higher than the regular tanks. So I guess this is actually pretty cool if you're gonna use her in PvE. And also I guess for PvP. I've been watching Japan server for a while now, and I see her a lot for some reason, which I'll explain in a bit. But I do think that her skills are kind of a bit expensive for my taste. But she does high damage, which is really good. I mean, I think all Hikaris do really decent and big amounts of damage, but for this high damage for a solo attack, I take it, I guess. The fact that it gives really good debuffs and charges her really fast is really good. So I do think it's kind of okay and worth it. So let's get into her Climax Act. She has Fluttering Melody, which does very high damage and, take note, agility down to 3 enemies with the highest HP. So let's say you cleave the 3 enemies at the back and 3 enemies in front, or something like that, like, you know, the new meta right now, which attacks the rear and front enemies. It's gonna be cool because since you're trying to wipe out your team, you could strategize it by, let's say, adding Sleeping Beauty at the first to attack the rear enemies, and get Fluttering Melody of initial guitar so that you can destroy the 3 front enemies who have higher health. Did that make sense? But I do think it's actually pretty good if you're cleaving enemies with high amounts of HP, and let's say you don't get to attack them, sadly, because you can only attack specific enemies. Fluttering Melody could help you by dealing very high damage to the people with the highest HP. This is really good, especially there are really new strong stage girls that are being released. Like, let's say, in my opinion, the meta girls now are kind of soft, but since they released the 2 Snow Whites, since they have the highest HP and most probably would stay alive throughout the PvP match, I'd say that actually hitting them with this is actually going to be pretty pretty good, especially with the agility down, because agility down and speed is very important for PvP. Before we discuss about her further and how and where to use her, let's go to her unit skill, which does act power and critical up by 30%, which is really good because mid-row meta will never die, and if you have mid-stage girls, bringing her and maxing this is very useful. And let's get to her auto skill, which I'm really excited for, and it's really interesting. So basically, she has Fortitude, 20 brilliance each turn, and stun resistance 100%. So like I said before, Fortitude is really nice, especially when you're fighting up against the finishing act. It's really useful because you get to survive with 1 HP. Stun resistance, any resistance, is really great right now. I guess maybe not freeze because it's not that meta yet, or it's not that known and used. But stun resistance, any resistance is really good for PvP. And passive, which has 20 brilliance, is really great. I'd say, actually, if you give her a brilliance memoir and just attack once, actually just give her a brilliance memoir, by the end of the turn, she'll actually probably have her Climax Act ready, without a doubt, which is really, really good and very interesting, actually. So if you add her to your team and you have, let's say, a Max Aquarium or Max Kira, she's gonna be very easy to have her Climax Act up very fast. So I do think, since they gave her this auto skill passive, makes her viable for PvP. Why do I say that? Because since her skills are very expensive and very specific, but very good for PvE, I'd say you don't even need to use her attack. You don't even need to use her if that's the case, because eventually she'll be, by turn 2 for sure, she already has her Climax Act. So I do think that bringing her for the agility down is very interesting. You could switch, and I think it's kind of how do you say this, technical in a way, because you have to make sure that you would like to hit your ult on the specific girls or specific girl who needs agility down. But with that said, this is actually very interesting. I've seen her being used in Japan server, and it's very interesting because some top players actually bring her for this cloudy Climax Act. It's very game changing, but it's also at the same time very cool because you don't really need to use a skill of hers to give her charge, since she already charges every turn, and most probably she'll just keep spamming her ult by the end of your finishing act. So by turn 3 you're charging it again, and by turn 4 you're most probably gonna have it again if you reach that kind of end. I've actually lost to one in the special PvP. So where is she good? She's 100% good in PvE, knowing that she does act power down and special defense down, and ready for her to Climax Act. And she is good in PvP, I'd say. I've seen a lot. Is she worth rolling for? Yep, 100% yes. Do I prefer Hikari over Akira? Waifu, yes, but Akira is 100% way better than her, in my opinion, because her skill set is really nice, which I'll be discussing in another episode. But with that said, is she worth your gems? 100% yes, go for her. She's actually a pretty cool unit. She has mid-row global, which is very important in this game and in PvP in general. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with me, and I hope you guys get good rolls in this collab. So I'm wishing you all gotcha, good luck, and see you guys next time. Bye.